Let's get into the Hillary Rodham Clinton conversation, the deposition that took place as Hillary Clinton testified she had no idea of Epstein's crimes. We'll start there first, and then we'll move on to some other major stories. There's certainly a lot going on in the world, so let's get right into it.
Epstein's friends never fails to shock, and among the most powerful of all, former President Bill Clinton. Pictured in a jacuzzi, swimming pool, and on a private plane. The Epstein files have no photographs of his wife Hillary Clinton with the billionaire paedophile. She does not think they ever met. But still, she was summoned first to take questions from US lawmakers investigating Epstein's crimes. The House Oversight Committee's Republican chair said there was no suggestion of wrongdoing by the Clintons, but he wanted answers about Epstein.
How did he accumulate so much wealth? How was he able to surround himself with some of the most powerful men in the world? Was he an asset for our government or any other government?
Hillary Clinton has admitted that she did know Ghislaine Maxwell well enough that you can see.
Yep. Remember this? Remember this? I've talked about this a lot. Oh, man. It's like, it's crazy. They're playing my greatest fucking hits over here for like the last decade, you know? These are some of my greatest hits over the last decade, and now it's on mainstream news. It's crazy. Larry Summers resigned. A lot of ops are falling left and right. Pretty fucking solid.
Here, she attended her daughter Chelsea's wedding. But she released an opening statement on social media saying she had no idea about Epstein's criminal activities, adding, "I never flew on his plane or visited his island." She said if this committee is serious about learning the truth, it should ask Donald Trump directly, under oath, about the tens of thousands of times he shows up in the Epstein files.
How's it going?
It would not waste time on fishing expeditions.
Hell yeah.
What is being held back, she asked. Who is being protected? And why the cover-up? The deposition took place behind closed doors with video expected later, but it was briefly disrupted when this photograph from inside was leaked.
Fucking Lobo took a sneak peek, a candid of Hillary Rodham Clinton, and then sent it to fucking Benny Johnson. And then Benny Johnson watermarked the shit out of the photo and blasted it on the timeline. My God, we are run by fucking animals. This is a country that is straight up on autopilot. There is no other way to approach it, okay? We have truly 10 IQ troglodytes in positions of profound power. Lauren Boebert is one of these people, okay? Absolute fucking clown show. First of all, if you're going to do a sneak peek, you might as well record some of the most damaging parts that they might actually try to strike from the record. You know, fuck it. If you're going to do this, if you're going to violate the rules, if you're going to violate the process, do it for something good. Like when they ask Hillary Clinton a question and her answer is off the record, you know, because that's something that happened with Les Wexner's deposition. Les Wexner was directly asked about Jeffrey Epstein's close relationship with Donald Trump, and they went off the fucking record.
To a conservative commentator. Speaking outside, committee Democrats said they were glad Hillary Clinton was taking questions, but agreed with her that there is a sense of a cover-up protecting others.
If the most powerful people in the United States of America, the elite and rich and powerful men and women, are able to get away with these heinous crimes, then we are sending a horrible message to young people in this country that powerful people will always protect themselves and the rule of law does not apply to everyone.
Questions are still being asked about Trump himself, who was once close to Epstein. The president says the files totally exonerate him, but there are reports that key material relating to a woman who made an accusation about the president could be missing. Lawmakers like Congressman
Missing. Missing. Yeah, it needs more watermarks law. Yeah. The full photo is insane. Full shot of the Clinton Epstein testimony currently ongoing. What a psycho, dude. Like, this is insane. Calling Bill and Hillary was a mistake by the idiot Republicans. This just put the story back in the news. I know. I mean, it's not going away, man. It's not going away. Every other day, there's like anytime there's like a liberal institution that at least takes itself seriously enough, that applies some scrutiny to people that are mentioned in the Epstein files, it all of a sudden gets back into the news. It gets back into the forefront of the news. There's so much going on there. It's such a target-rich environment of pedophilic elites that it's impossible not to keep this story in the headlines, right?
Johnny Olszewski are trying to dig out information. He took up a Department of Justice offer to search the files without redactions and saw things blacked out that shouldn't have been.
Clearly protecting those who were involved and accused of terrible things.
And those are just the files that have been released. A Channel 4 News investigation suggests they could amount to only 2% of the total.
The extent to which our government continues to withhold these documents is incredibly disturbing and makes me think that it really feels that this is a cover-up worse than Watergate, which was the seminal moment in American politics.
And you say it's like Watergate. Is it going to bring down a president?
Again, I think if the potential crimes and the potential activities that are hinted at are actually chased down and found to be true, it absolutely will bring down this president, as it should bring down any president. I think if it's tracked down and found to be true, it will bring down cabinet secretaries, it will bring down a Supreme Court justice, it will bring down members of Congress. And that's how it should be.
President Trump has always denied wrongdoing, while the Department of Justice...
He looks positively slim in this photo. I do have to say he's kind of slaying. Okay, no disrespect to anybody else, but I know it's not relevant, but he's looking slim. He's looking slim thick.
...has made clear that being in the files does not imply guilt. There are no accusations against Bill Clinton, but his clear association with Jeffrey Epstein will be the subject of questions tomorrow as this scandal continues to unfold. Hillary and Bill Clinton are the first people to have been effectively forced to appear at a deposition, and you can hear in Hillary Clinton's statement that she has read out to lawmakers that she is absolutely furious about that. She thinks it is political. She has said to them, you've made little effort to call the people who show up most prominently in the files. And when one billionaire businessman, Lex Wexner, was questioned, Republicans didn't even turn up. She's talked about spending her life devoted to, women and girls, talking about meeting girls as young as 12 forced into prostitution, calling it a global scourge with an unimaginable human toll. And she has argued that if this is really about the survivors, then all the Epstein files should be out there. I mentioned in the piece that there's been reporting here from the New York Times and also from NPR suggesting that files relating to Donald Trump might be missing, but our own investigations show that the FBI discussed taking in way more files than we have seen, and that is why people feel that this could be a cover-up.
What? So is Bill Feinman going to jail? Fuck no. I have long maintained the position that this is MAP, mutual assured pedophilia destruction. Okay, it's mad theory, but for instead of nuclear arms, we're talking about leaking the pedophile files, right? And I think that's what's like holding it together. But the problem is, because this is an international conspiracy, because Jeffrey Epstein had entanglements with so many other countries, there are always going to be other countries that go, this is not great for us. We have to maintain a presence of law and order. So you got like in Norway, princelings getting the boot. You have in the UK some potential justice being served, right? And when that happens, that applies pressure to the American government, okay? That applies pressure to the American institutions, because then people go, wait a minute, in the fucking United Kingdom, they're actually They're actually going after their people. They're going after their Jeffrey Epstein affiliates. Why are we not doing that? This was a similar pressure applied in the issue of Israel, where in European capitals, you had people protesting against their government saying, like, why the fuck are we letting Israel do a genocide? Get the fuck out of here. Like, do something about this. And that was the reason why a lot of European leaders had to come out and release statements about, you know, soft condemnations of Israel or offer some recognition to Palestinian statehood, conditional recognition to Palestinian statehood. But like, they were moving away from America on this issue, which is why Trump had to go in and be like, all right, we're going to do a fake ceasefire, right? And that's kind of what's happening here as well, where there's more scrutiny and more pressure in European countries towards their Jeffrey Epstein affiliates, and that creates an environment where Americans start pressuring the American institutions where Jeffrey Epstein was like heavily involved with said American institutions like Harvard, right? Larry Summers was deeply involved with Jeffrey Epstein. We've known this for years and years, and now Harvard, in an effort to save face, is forcing Larry Summers to fucking resign, right? Oh my God. Zoran Mamdani just got off the phone with President Trump. In our meeting earlier, I shared my concerns about Columbia student Elena Agayeva, who was detained by ICE this morning. He's just informed me that she will be released immediately. That's fucking incredible, dude. That is incredible. Fantastic shit. He made the boss call. Mashallah, mashallah. That's pretty fire, I will admit. That's really, really fucking cool. Hold on. The brown boy superpower of unk whispering. Yeah, Trump fucking loves him, dude. Holy shit. How the fuck is one dude doing more than the whole Democratic Party? That's crazy. Respect. He's plowing snow and he's doing it. He's doing the damn thing, you know? It's hard not to give him praise, you know? All right. Let's continue with this.
Well, I'm now joined by Doug Sosnick, who served as a senior advisor to President Bill Clinton for 6 years. Thank you for joining us. I guess America is so divided that people will divide on how they feel about this. But do you think Hillary Clinton can emerge from her questioning without her reputation damaged?
Well, I think the last person in the world I'd worry about is Hillary Clinton. There's absolutely no reason why she should be called in to testify. She's never met Epstein to her recollection. She's not in the files. This is all about politics. And the chairman of the committee, Mr. Comer, who's been the chairman now for 3 years, so he has a track record, has demonstrated that he's pretty much a backbenching, incompetent political hack on behalf of Trump. And so outside of the MAGA universe, I think the vast majority of people in this country see this for what it is. And I should just add quickly that The Economist came out with a poll this week in which 57% of the country disapproves of how the Trump administration has handled the Epstein matter, and that they believe 53%, which is a majority, believe that there's been a cover-up.
But she did know Ghislaine Maxwell. Maxwell attended Chelsea Clinton's wedding. And that is an uncomfortably close association with a criminal.
Well, that first of all, that's accurate. And the reason that she was there, my understanding was that Hillary had a long-standing relationship with her boyfriend at the time. But that has nothing to do with what the chairman said on your piece before I came on about why he called her in to get to the bottom of a whole series of questions about Epstein and how he got his money, which is ridiculous, of course, because she never met the guy. And the last thing I'll add is Melania Trump, on the other hand, had a long-standing relationship with Epstein, long-standing relationship. And it shows you the absurdity and the politicization of this, that Hillary's being called, and of course, Melania is not.
Well, and of course, Trump. But I mean, the trouble for Hillary Clinton, surely, is that her whole political career, since she was First Lady, has been dogged by the behavior of her husband. And he gives evidence tomorrow, and there is much more evidence that he did have a relationship with Epstein. There are all those photos of him, that don't look good. Is it possible for Hillary Clinton not to be affected by the claims against Bill?
Well, first of all, I don't think there's a single person in the United States of America that doesn't have a strong opinion about Hillary Clinton at this point. So I think it's very unlikely that this or anything else is going to change that. But this is not about Hillary Clinton, and there's nothing that came out prior to the hearing or in the hearings so far that suggests in any shape or form that she had any dealings with Epstein. So this is not going to, I don't believe, impact her.
Melania's probably a victim. Let's be real. Okay, I wouldn't go that far, but Melania was connected to Trump through Jeffrey Epstein and Jean-Luc Brunel.
In any way.
Right, but what about the impact on Bill Clinton tomorrow? When he gives...
I mean, she might have been a victim at some point.
Yeah. Well, that's a different matter. And again, I think most people have a pretty strong opinion one way or the other about Bill Clinton already. And I can just sit here and tell you a couple things. As someone who worked for 6 years for President Clinton, and my office for the last 3 of those years was actually next to the Oval Office, and I went on almost all of his trips for 4 years. I never saw once Epstein either at an event, calling in, never discussed it with him. So I know at least when I was there as president, that Epstein had no dealings with Clinton. The matters that have been brought to attention subsequent were after after Clinton had left office.
We're going to begin with this, though. We've got some major new developments in the fallout from those Epstein files. Former President Bill Clinton and Hillary Clinton are set to give depositions to Congress starting today in its probe of the Epstein files. There are also new questions this morning over allegations against President Trump and whether key documents involving his name and an accuser were withheld by the Department of Justice. There has also been an apology from billionaire Bill Gates over his association with Jeffrey Epstein. Nicole Killian is in Chappaqua, New York, where the Clintons will give their depositions. Nicole, good morning. This continues, the fallout continues, and we keep hearing there's more to come. We're also hearing that another member of the global elite has become the latest casualty of the Epstein files. What's this one about?
Yeah, that's right, Gail, and good morning to you. We are learning that the CEO of the Davos Forum has resigned, the latest member of the global elite to face consequences for ties to Jeffrey Epstein. Meantime, here in the U.S., the Clintons are set to appear behind closed doors for taped depositions after being threatened with contempt of Congress.
Images in the Epstein files show powerful men like President Trump, former President Bill Clinton, and Microsoft co-founder Bill Gates in undated photos with women. All three adamantly deny any criminal wrongdoing and have not been charged in connection with Jeffrey Epstein.
Every minute I spent with him, I regret and I apologize that I did that.
The Microsoft mogul apologized to the Gates Foundation staff Tuesday and admitted to having extramarital affairs with 2 Russian women, but added, "I did nothing illicit," in a recording obtained by the Wall Street Journal. In 2 2013 emails with the subject line "Bill" that Jeffrey Epstein appears to have sent himself.
Yeah, I saw this photo. It's fucking awesome. I had a productive meeting with President Trump this afternoon. I'm looking forward to building more housing in New York City. Ford to city, drop dead. Vows he'll veto any bailout. Trump to city, let's build. Backs new era of housing. Trump delivers 12,000 plus homes, most since 1973. He's so... Dude. Zohran Mamdani is exactly the person that Trump would love to win favor with. Remember when I told you that Donald Trump's greatest anger and resentment towards elite liberals stems from the fact that New York elite society, the intelligentsia, the artists, and the old money benefactors of all of these different like artistic initiatives in the city of New York never recognized the Trump family as a part of the elite. The socialites never actually wanted to hang out with him. They always considered him to be crude and brash, of poor taste, nouveau riche. That's where a lot of his anger comes from. Zohran Mamdani, on the other hand, did something that Barack Obama never did, which is just kind of talk to him normally. Because Zohran is a person who was welcomed by the cultural elite very quickly. I mean, it makes sense. He's a well-dressed guy. He's well-spoken. He comes from that background. His father is a fucking academic. His mother is a very famous movie director, right? So he is very clearly a part of that movement, okay? He's very clearly a part of this group that Donald Trump desperately wants to win favors with. And I think a part of the reason why Donald Trump is fascinated with Zohran seemingly is because Zohran Mamdani is I guess not as like repulsed by him. Like he has a way of communicating with him that because he has to fucking play ball because Trump is the president. He has a way of communicating with him in this charming manner that isn't like it isn't like outwardly repulsed. That I think Donald Trump just responds this way to whatever he's doing and offers him whatever he wants. A real hog whisperer, if you will. Not hostile, but also not submissive. Yes. Not like overtly hostile.